Catholic Church stands on the cusp of a historic moment as the process to elect the next pope begins in the wake of Pope Francis's passing. While many aspects of this decision are shaped by tradition, there is a new dynamic at play this time. One, driven by the growing influence of diplomacy over geography in the choice of the next leader of the Church. The world is watching, as the future of the Catholic Church is no longer just determined by where the Pope comes from, but by the skills he possesses to lead a global congregation through the complex challenges of the 21st century. For centuries, the papacy has been associated with Europe. The Vatican, at the heart of the Catholic world, has traditionally seen its leaders come from European countries. However, Pope Francis's election in 2013 as the first Latin American Pope signaled a shift in the Catholic Church's leadership. It became evident that geography was no longer a primary factor in selecting the Pope. Rather, the qualities and skills required to handle the global nature of the Church were becoming more important. As Pope Francis's successor is now to be chosen, the question arises, should the next Pope come from a region with a growing Catholic presence, like Africa or Asia, or should the Church continue to look to Europe for leadership? This is the dilemma the College of Cardinals now faces as they prepare to elect a new Pope. A key contender in this conversation is Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana. Africa has become an important part of the Catholic Church's future, with more Catholics living on the continent than in any other region, except Latin America. The potential election of a pope from Africa would be a monumental moment, symbolizing the rise of the global South within the Catholic community. Cardinal Turkson, who has spent decades in Vatican roles and has been a vocal advocate for social justice, poverty alleviation, and climate change, is seen by many as an ideal candidate. His election would be a historic first and would also signal the Church's commitment to addressing the specific challenges facing Africa, such as poverty, conflict, and underdevelopment. Yet, geography alone does not determine the outcome of the conclave. The selection process is influenced heavily by the candidate's ability to navigate the complexities of global diplomacy, address the challenges faced by the Church today, and manage its relationship with world leaders. The Church's growing presence in regions outside of Europe means the next pope must be someone who is not only a spiritual leader, but also an effective global diplomat. One of the most pressing issues the Church faces is the growing secularism in the Western world. While the Catholic faith is growing rapidly in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, Europe and North America have seen a decline in church attendance and a rise in secular attitudes. The next pope will need to address how the Church can remain relevant in a world that is increasingly indifferent to religion. This challenge requires a pope who is not only rooted in faith, but who can engage with modern societies and bridge the gap between traditional Catholic teachings and the realities of contemporary life. Another area where diplomacy will play a major role is the Church's relationship with other religious communities. Interfaith dialogue and cooperation have been central to Pope Francis's papacy, and the next pope will need to continue this work, promoting peace, understanding, and collaboration between different religious groups. This is especially critical in a world where tensions between religious communities continue to rise. The ability of the Pope to serve as a moral authority on the global stage and advocate for peace and justice will be crucial. The election process itself has become more democratic in recent decades. While the College of Cardinals still holds the final say, the influence of the laity and the wider Church has grown. Pope Francis's appointments of cardinals from around the world, including many from outside Europe, have created a more diverse and representative electorate. This means that the next pope will likely be chosen not only by European cardinals, but by a more global and varied body, which could influence the direction the Church takes moving forward. At the same time, the influence of European cardinals cannot be understated. Europe still represents a significant portion of the Church's leadership, and many of these cardinals hold substantial power within the Vatican. Their perspectives will likely play a key role in determining the direction of the Church, and their choices may lean toward continuity with tradition rather than a radical departure from the past. The decision will be influenced by the complex relationship between tradition and reform, a balancing act that will define the future of the Catholic Church.